Hi there BookTube, it's Eleanor here, and this is my February TBR video, sort of. So if you know, well, you probably know by now, if you watch this channel, I'm doing Shelf Slam 2017, which was created by me and Janet from Swirly Girly Reads, and we've been joined by the wonderful Brittany from Under the Radar Books. Myself and Janet came up with 12 challenges for the year, each one to be picked out each month, which would direct us to the type of books that we would be reading off our shelves for the month. We wouldn't be buying books, and we would be aiming to read 12 books in a month. If we read 12 books in a month, the other one would buy us a book. So this month I pulled out of the jar, and typical Eleanor fashion on the shortest month of the year, I pulled out books over 400 pages. So it turns out that I have probably 50% of my shelf is books over 400 pages. I don't own a lot of shorter fiction, so I have a lot of books to choose from. So all I've done here, and the books that I'm going to show you, are on my TBR. However, I have a tentative TBR of about 55 books, which is just the books off my shelves that have really piqued my interest that are over 500 pages, because I like to have a big stack to pull from, because I think sometimes if you're too prescriptive, you can get a bit like, oh, I don't want to read any of those. So these are by no means definite, but they're definitely the ones that I'm most interested in at the moment. The first one is called Sari by Sue Dharmapala. I've had this on my shelf for a while. I think I saw it on the Little Book Owls channel, and it just sounded wonderful. The front cover is beautiful, and I love books that are set in India. This book is said to be for fans of Victoria Hislop and Kate Moss, both of which writers that I really enjoy. So this is about a young woman who sews and makes saris, and it's about her life and her travels and where these saris go. It says here on the back that we're going to go from Sri Lanka, ravaged by civil war, to mystical India, and finally Australia. And it's the story of one precious piece of cloth and the lives it changes. So I'm really excited to read this one. Next up is a book that I've wanted to pick up, and my daughter's headmistress gave me the push. At my daughter's preschool, the head teacher there loves reading, and she cornered me at the door and said, have you read this Eligible by Curtis Steinfeld? She said it's like a modern Pride and Prejudice. She said I really loved it, and I was like, okay. I'd heard mixed things, but I really want to try this out, so I'm giving me the push. So all I know about it is it's a modern day Pride and Prejudice style story. I think this is an ARC copy, and that was what the actual copy looked like. So I'm really intrigued by this one, and I'm looking forward to it. I love Pride and Prejudice, so hopefully I'm going to enjoy this one too. Next up is a YA fantasy, And I Darken by Kirsten White. Again, this is a proof copy. This one is about Lady Dracula, and I love a bit of vampires and Dracula. This one said, no one expects a princess to be brutal, and Lady Dracula likes it that way. Ruthlessness is the key to survival, for the lineage that makes her and her brother special also makes them a target. So this apparently is the first in an epic commercial new trilogy starring the ultimate anti-princess. So I've wanted to pick this up for ages, so I'm looking forward to this one. And then the other books that I've got here, there is 4. They're all books that I was very kindly sent by the publishers for review, so it's about time that I read them. The first one is a newer one which doesn't come out till the 28th of March, and that is Laini Taylor's Strange the Dreamer. I love this ARC copy. It says, this is a story of a mysterious city stripped of its name, a mythic hero with blood on his hands, a young librarian with a singular dream, a blue-skinned goddess every bit as perilous as she is imperiled. Ooh. So looking forward to that one. This one I've had for far too long, and it's The House at the Edge of Night by Catherine Banner. And this one says, a square building in faded amber, it seemed balanced on the very side of the hill between the light of the piazza and the dark of the hillside and the sea. Its terrace was draped in great profusions of bougainvillea. At little tables among the flowers, the islanders drank limoncello and arancello. fought and swore over card games, swayed to the whirling songs of an organetto. A sign in fanciful script proclaimed the words, Casa al borde della notte. That's probably said wrong. And this is set in a tiny coastal town in Italy. A foundling from Florence thinks he has found a place where finally he can belong. And this is the story of war and terrorism and recession and legend. And I'm really excited to see what I think of it. Switching the pace up a bit to a science fiction and a Revenger by Alistair Reynolds. Caitlin from Kitty G says, I will love this. I had it on my shelf and really wanted to pick it up. I get the feeling that it's a little bit of a space opera, I'm hoping. It's a story of a group of people that set out into sort of planets and sort of scavenge for relics that are worth something, and it's, I think, the story of the crew. I've heard good things, so I'm looking forward to that. And finally, one that has taken me far too long, and I don't know why I haven't read it because I'm so excited, and that's A Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahir. I absolutely loved An Ember in the Ashes. I gave it 5 stars a couple of years ago, and it's about blooming time I picked up this. So I can't tell you too much about this because it's the second book in the series, but it's set in sort of a Roman type world, and we have a girl whose brother has been kidnapped or taken into slavery. She wants to free him. She needs to infiltrate the enemy's sort of camp, so to speak, and so she works as a slave in the enemy camps or like school, and it's about one of the boys that is in this particular training military camp, and it's politics and it's war and it's violence and it's espionage and spies, and it's really, really good. Yeah, just really, really good. So I'm looking forward to delving into this one. So those are the books that I'm currently leaning towards. What are you reading this month? Are you taking part in Shelf Slam for the month? Are you going to be doing books over 400? Let me know if you are. And I look forward to talking to you about some of these when I've read them. Okay, well, that's it from me, and I shall speak to you soon. Bye for now, BookTube.